Netflix just dropped a special with Kanye. Jeen-yus. And it's a special that's been recorded years ago, a long time ago, even before Kanye got in his car accident. This is a guy named Cootie, who is a director and a videographer, photographer. He's been behind the camera his whole life. He was a comedian. But he followed Kanye around as his friend, somebody he's working with to kind of showcase his work ethic to get through the industry and become not only just a producer, but an artist all around. And so this footage is really from, I'll say, early 2000s, no later. It's early 2000 footage, and it shows Kanye, as a producer, in a group at a point in time, and then becoming a solo artist and the work he did to become an artist because people only recognize him as a producer. And so it shows the intimate side of his career and the less hectic side. And what I really liked about the documentary, because it's just the first part, it's many parts to it, I really liked the relationship with his mom. I've always known that his mom was a big part of his life, but that part of the documentary where it was him and his mom talking in the kitchen and she's saying, you do this like Jordan, this is you. She's reciting his rap lyrics, and that was just so beautiful to see a black woman love her black son. And that gives not only you have the confidence to be anything you want to be, but it shows that you pass that through. Whatever you give your kids is what you get back as a parent. You're giving them love, you're giving them support, you get that back. That it made me so, not emotional, but it had me like tight, because that's something that's like sought after for a lot of black people that's my age or younger.
Especially young black men. I saw a post that said, it was inspiring to see Kanye's mom recite his lines with him. My mom told me go get a job. It's like different people got different experiences, and that post had me rolling. But that documentary made me say that the world created the monster they call Kanye. His mom gave him all the confidence in the world, and he went out to the world and then tried to hold him back. And they tried to hold him back by trying to keep him boxed in this category as a producer. He went in, like I tell people all day, now you can get on social media and post, and you can get seen. Back in the day, you had to send CDs. You had to go and see A&Rs in buildings. There was a thick
you had
book.
to buy
you had to spend $300, $500 on a book.
You had to buy a black
that
book.
had addresses of all the record labels and A&Rs. So the work he put in and them telling him no, created the monster. So now when you make yourself, you know who you are. You don't have to be anybody but yourself. They call it arrogance, but he worked really hard. They shut him down. They turned him down. And then he lost his mom. The only person he really felt probably had his back. So I feel like everybody else created the monster we call Kanye. People look at him a certain way, but look how they basically turned their heads when he was playing his music. Like, oh man, hey man, that's cool, but I need a beat. Come on, man.
There's so many people that pass up on
Yeah.
you. I heard beats that were done by other people that were passed up by the people they were meant for or intended for. You can also see that Kanye was, he was loving being a producer and reaching these people, but you can see that he was like, hey, I got more than this. I'm an artist, man. I write, man. Here's this, here's that. And just watching this process of him getting turned down, to being like, I'm not giving up was amazing. He showed how the hatred came from his hometown. He showed different things, and I really respect him for it, and Cootie, the
sick.
videographer and the director, because it takes a lot for you to believe in somebody to give up your he was a comedian on BET, did stand-up and all that. So you give up your career, not just as a comedian doing stand-up or a writer, but also as a videographer that's available to other people, just to make sure you follow Kanye and get his journey. Like, I commend him a lot, and see what happens when you put the work in, when you show love to people that's around you. Years later, you guys are you're on top of the world. Like, you know what I'm saying? And no matter what the drama is around you, going back to that time, you would never think that you would have everything you wanted. You know what I'm saying? With losing things, but you still made it.
And that's the thing about being a trailblazer and having somebody who believes in you. Like, Cootie didn't know that Kanye was gonna be Kanye. He's seen something. Like, it takes somebody who really believes in you to really see something and say, hey, I'm gonna get off my path of being a comedian, and we're gonna follow you around, and we're gonna record this because this is gonna be something amazing. He'd never known that Kanye would be a fashion icon, a top musician mogul. You know what I'm saying? He didn't know that. So shouts out to him, because there's people, you need those people in your life. You need people to speak life into you, to believe in you. And he really followed him around when there was video cameras. It wasn't Zoom calls and you could reach me over here across the country. He had to get down with him and tour and follow him around. So shout out to Cootie, because that took guts to do, man. Like, seriously.
And they just dropped this only first part. Like I said, there's many parts. So part two, we'll probably talk about that too, because it seemed like this is going to document a lot of the beginning and middle of his career before it just went crazy. So shout out Kanye, shout out Cootie, man. You guys go watch Jeen-yus on Netflix, man. Jeen-yus, man, and let me know what you feel. Tap in with me and bro and give us your feedback.